So welcome to Wednesday. We're going to continue looking at databases. Monday we looked at a real simple database example. Today we're going to look at a slightly more complicated database example that uses 3 additional classes to manage the database. This is going to be, this is what you're going to use for the assignment this week. So I'm going to start you going on that, get you kind of used to the database and the files in it. We'll do some changes to it as we create it. And then we'll turn you loose on the assignment. So this is assignment 10 I've posted up there. In assignment 10, you'll have to add a field to the database and then make changes to most of the files in order to get this field propagated to all the right spots. But today we'll get the database set up and we'll work on some things to make it easier to use. So there's a couple things we'll do today in class to do it. I'll save the database when we're done and put it out on the R drive and put it out on GitHub, so you could, if you don't follow along exactly and you want to have it, I'll attach it to this assignment at the end of the day and post GitHub, so you can use my version if you want for this. This comes from a series of tutorials from a fellow named Vogela that I really like. I think he's writing a book now. So we're going to click on this tutorial from Vogela.com. Good old Lars. And we're going to look through now. We're going to focus on this tutorial 4 as part. He has this big page that goes over using SQLite in Android and talks about the general background in the first 2 and 3 parts, and then part 4 we create a simple SQLite example, and that's what we're going to do today. Now then he goes on and talks about a more complicated example using content providers, where again, if you're using a bigger system, you might use content providers for that, and he discusses why. But in this sort of introductory class, we're just going to stick with this one. This tutorial is going to be complicated enough for you, I think. If you can figure this out, you're doing well. This is not the easiest thing. And this is, I think, a level of something that you could easily add to your final project, is a database example. A lot of the final projects will need databases, so this is a good level of sophistication, I think, for the database. So yeah, if I go through this, he talks about SQLite and Android and what SQLite is. Talks about the basic, this SQLite open helper and the on-create, on-upgrade things. Talks about the SQLite database and different things you can do, insert, update, and delete, different queries you can execute. Gives some examples of queries and parameters. Talks about this cursor. Again, that's kind of like an array of database results, and then talks about tying that into a list view in some ways. But we're going to scroll down to 4 tutorial on using SQLite, and we're going to make this project, which is basically a you could use it a couple different ways. You can add, he's doing it as adding comments to something, so you can say nice, good, bad. The same sort of application other people do as a to-do list of things you want to do, and then you cross them out. But he uses the term comment. So the idea is maybe you'll have the normal YouTube posting or Facebook posting, and you'll put comments after it. Okay, so this is just the part of it where you'd put comments after something else. Okay, we don't have the something else here. We're just doing the comments. So we'll comment on the weather or whatever we want for this. So we're just going to go through this tutorial and create this database and the different fields for it. So Let's see. So I'm going to do a new Android Studio project. And you can name it whatever you want. It doesn't matter too much. We're going to set that up. And again, same with the domain. You'll set that up, and we'll just have to watch the domain field at the top of these values and see how they are. Now, let's see. He does want yeah, so he does want the main activity called test database activity. Now, last time we tried to keep it called main activity, and I know some of you ran into some problems with that again, because when you can't just copy code in and out of some places. So why don't we create the main activity called test database activity this time. So here, yeah, this is fine. Blank activity, that's fine. And again, for the activity name, we're going to call, this will be our test database activity. And our layout will be activity test database.
Is that the activity name that is on the source code for Vogel?
Yeah. Yeah, he creates this test database activity, I think. So, all right. I'm going to finish this up. Bing. Yeah. Usually means there's a problem in your XML file. No, I don't see anything. Oh, it should be, you're missing r.id, I think. r.layout. r.layout dot.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you got R on. Yeah, it still is. XML is not being rebuilt somehow. You'd fix this, but it didn't seem to rebuild it after you fixed that. So let's see. We'll watch as it rebuilds it now. It should, because it So again, right now, when I hit add new, it picks a random comment and adds it to our thing. And when I hit delete, it deletes the top item in the list. Even though if I click on something else, it'll still delete the top one. So it'll delete very nice here. Even if I click down here, it'll still delete that one. So we're going to fix a couple things with that. So do we have it basically running? Ready to go on? So let's look at the activity and the layout and how that works. Yep.
For some reason it's underlying data source. I did the same. I don't know where is it. Do you want me to run it?
Oh no, it won't run. So here, first fix this.
Yeah, that's activity. What was it?
Yeah, it should be all lowercase though. Why isn't it coming there? That one. Let's see. Let's just rebuild this. Sometimes it gets confused. I've had it when I update something in the layout. You updated this in the layout, and it seems like it doesn't. Oh. Okay, now let's do dot error. So that's that error, but
Data source.
huh. So yeah, it's complaining that it's throwing an SQL exception. This here shouldn't be there. Where'd you get? Oh, that's there. Oh, wait. No, that is there. Why?
Do you have any same problem as I was having?
I don't think so. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not tying these things together. Yeah, try rebuilding it again. It's still showing you these errors here. I think I don't know what. So, okay, I'm going to show them the next thing, and then I'll come back to you and see how it goes. So let's look at how it adds a random comment. There's an on-click method, and the on-click method actually handles both button clicks. So what they do is they switch on the ID of the button, and if it's the add button, they do one thing, and if it's the delete button, they do something else. So this on-click method handles both buttons, and so here's the add button. So with the add button, they declare an array of strings, cool, very nice, hate it, 3 things, and then they pick a random integer, and then they create a comment with this random string, with this random integer into this array of strings, and then they add that comment to our list. So we're going to change this around. How are we doing on time here? Let's see if we can at least fix this part. So we're going to go into our XML database, our XML file. And we're going to add a text field, like a text field up here that says comment and an edit text value up the top. I find that it easiest to do that, we're in linear layouts, to first add a horizontal linear layout up at the top. So I'm going to grab a horizontal linear layout, put that at the top of the screen here, and then try to add just a plain text inside of that, and then an edit text inside of that. And I never get them in the right spot, so I'll show you. So when I added them, they don't end up, I want the edit text and the text view inside the linear layout, and they're not there. So I have trouble manipulating things on here. I find it easier to work over here and make sure I put the text view inside the linear layout and the edit text inside the linear layout. So again, I should have inside my vertical linear layout, there should be a horizontal linear layout and then a text view and an edit text in that. Should look basically like this. And then for the new text, we're going to just change that to have it say comment. And just right click and say comment, colon. And then the ID for this will be edit text comment. So this will be edit text comment, and this will just say comment. So now I'm going to use that field. When I hit the add new button, I'm going to grab whatever's in that field and use that as my comment. So I'm going to go into my test database activity, my activity here, under on click in the get, in the add button one. I'm going to comment out this line and this line. And instead of doing a random comment, I'm going to I have to get my edit text field here. So so I'm going to declare an edit text object, edit text, and call it text. I'll call it text comment. How about so equals, and then I'm going to do my find view by ID, and go into r.id. What did I call my edit text field? Edit text comment, et comment, I think. Oh, I always forget to cast this. You always have to cast this to an edit text. So again, we've done this before, right? We're declaring a text comment field that is going to be tied to the edit text field in my view. And now when I create my comment here, well, I can just use that. I can just say comment equals data source dot create comment, and I can use txt comment dot text dot get text. Not. All right. So when I'm creating my comment equals data source get comment, I'm going to use my text comment dot get text. I have to convert to a string dot to string. So that'll get this text from the text field on the form and put it in here so that I create a comment with that. So now when I run this, let's see if this will work. There I go. So now I have a comment field. Class is almost done. I can add that to my list. So whatever I type up here and hit add new, that'll be added to my comments. All right.
Can you go back to the activity test?
Sure. This is what we added kind of in there.
No, it's
Oh.
an activity test. The design.
Which this one? Okay, yeah. Sorry.
So the ET comment
Is this edit text field? So like that's called ET comment.
So is it like the large text?
It's-
field or plain text?
It's a plain text view, I think. It doesn't really. No, well, it's a text field, not a. So this is a plain text view, but this that you entered has to be a text field, so we can enter things into it. There we go. That's not a problem.
Okay.
I tried to record things for you, so we'll see how it goes.
Great. Had a good line. Every day you see me, I got here literally like 1:59. I'm like, oh. I tried.
Yeah, we tried. So.
How persistent are the databases? Like, where are they stored?
So they're normally stored on your phone,
Okay.
in the SD card or whatever, or actually built-in memory on your phone.
So if you go to memory in the phone, it'll show up as like, you can go under like the data and then.
I mean, it's a file that's stored in the file system on the phone. So you can, if you had the right browser, I think you could find it in there, file browser on there. On the emulator, it's actually persistent. I mean, if you run this and quit and run it again, it'll store. The emulator keeps track of it also, so it'll be there. I guess it won't on these because these machines are reset. But like on my laptop, my emulator remembers the databases from one time I run the emulator to the next time. So. So Friday we'll look some more at this. I'm trying to decide if I might show you another example. There's an in-class activity posted. I'm not sure we're going to do that or if we're going to keep working on this one. So it's not there. You should be set up to finish this assignment. Well, actually not. There's still one more thing here. So I will post my working version of this here. So you can look at it. If you didn't get yours completely working, I'll post the working version of it here. So
Where do we find those videos at? Or you only send it to?
what?
Where do we find those videos?
Did I record?
Yeah.
I'll try to post those. So like if you, oops. If you look at module 8, here's Tom's recordings from that. So like from Friday, I haven't posted it from Monday. I'm just getting it processed, but I will post it today. So under module 10, right up here there'll be another thing for Tom's recordings.
We do on
Last Friday, we just did an in-class exercise, right? We just worked on the project last Friday, the midterms. The midterm projects.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I didn't record anything for that.
Okay.
So, okay.